in person, Alan Freed.
Hello, everybody. How y'all? Welcome to our Rock and Roll Jubilee of Stars. And here we go to rockin' with Waylon Tenenbaum, Freddie Mitchell, and the Rock and Roll Boogie. Here we go.
They told the story of Alan Freed, and the story of Alan Freed is the disc jockey who wound up coining the phrase rock and roll, becoming incredibly important, really being called the king of rock and roll right at the beginning.
Radio. There were pioneers in radio here in the early 50s at stations WERE and KYC and KYW. Alan Freed was very important in sort of defining rock and roll and being credited with coining the term.
Yeah, when I grew up, I listened to Alan Freed. That was the major influence of why I became a disc jockey.
We want rock and roll. We want rock and roll. We want rock and roll. All night long. We want.
Alan Freed he was playing what was called race music. He was so popular at my elementary school, Our Lady of the Blessed Sacrament, that you couldn't go to school that next day unless you listened to the Moondog the night before, because that's what everybody talked about, were the songs that the Moondog played.
Alan Freed is also remembered for the Moondog Coronation Ball, which is considered the first ever rock and roll show. The 1960s saw both the rise of FM radio and the beginnings of the concert industry. Belkin Productions soon became the biggest concert promoter in all of Cleveland.
I started doing the booking for Belkin Productions. At the same time, I signed Michael Stanley for management, and then I signed later Donnie Iris and the Cruisers for management.
Belkin's did the really big venues, Public Hall, Music Hall, and regional amphitheaters, and eventually turned into the World Series of Rock.
The World Series of Rock was the first of a kind. Belkin Productions brought the biggest acts in music to play in Cleveland stadiums for crowds of over 80,000 people. It was one of the biggest shows in Cleveland music history.
We had a great time with the World Series of Rock, which we had several concerts with multiple artists on each show, which we did at the Cleveland Stadium. The Rolling Stones, when we did, it was at 82,000 something.
The 1960s also saw the rise of FM radio and underground radio. On the forefront of this movement was WMMS.
Back in the early 60s, when we started on FM radio and actually introduced music to FM radio, a guy by the name of Doc Nemo, Martin Perlich, and myself. We were the three pioneers back in those days. We were playing music that we wanted to play. So we didn't have a playlist or anything like that. We played music that you couldn't hear on the AM radio stations. They wouldn't play it. So that's what made it more interesting.